because it's a little bit faster now. But I mean, it's still kind of like pulling a hooey out of the air, where you're basically just kind of sitting there and it's like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen. So right there, Andrew tries to go in on me really hard, but I backflip out. I hit him with the one and the weave. So you saw how my one just nuked about half of Anher's health. Hello everybody, we are here with your Neith ADC guys. So we're going to be starting off with our build, getting ourselves a death toll. I'm going to go tier 1 into Transcendence because I'm a big fan of the Transcendence on Neith still, and that's going to allow me to get quite a few health and mana potions. So I'm still a fan of the death toll on Neith. I'm running Leather Cal on a lot of hunters right now, but Neith does actually have a bit of a mana consumption issue if you want to spam some of her abilities, and so that death toll will be quite nice to give you a little bit of that mana sustain compared to the Leather Cal. And also I want to be able to go into a Transcendence right off the bat for that mana, and so I will also get a little bit of lifesteal as well, which will help me get to that point. At level 1 we are going to grab our 1. This is going to be our main damaging and lane clearing ability. Good old Spirit Arrow, going to do a bunch of damage and root all targets in a line. Goes through minions, goes through gods, goes through walls, goes through whatever you need it to go through. So I'm going to help my Agni with this red, pull it right over to him, make sure I reset it so it walks mostly back over to him so he can get to his lane faster. Over to the duo lane, I'm going to try to clear this wave as fast as humanly possible, because oftentimes the first team to get level 2 over in duo is the team that gets to aggress first. So I'm focusing on this wave as much as I can. Geb might try to get in front of me. We're not going to get the level 2, but that's okay. We've still got some creeps left, and as you can see, because we won that little bit of lane clear, we're going to get a lot of free damage. Now I'm going to go back to focusing on the wave. I'm going to use my root right here on the Geb. My Khepri might actually get level 2. I'm going to grab my 3-second. This is my backflip, just to be safe. Always make sure you're getting your movement ability at level 2. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time. Andrew tries to jump in on me, so I'm going to go ahead and style on him a little bit, give him a little backflip, which is going to create a weave, and then I can use that weave to hit him with my Spirit Arrow. Those weaves are kind of Neith's mechanic. Those weaves will interact with your 1 and your 2. With your 1, it gives you a nice explosion root, and you can actually hit that explosion on the root and the 1. You can hit them both and do double damage, which is awesome. And if you get that, people will absolutely explode. And you can also use it with your 2 in order to get some extra sustain. So here at level 3, I am going to grab my 2. Neith's 2 is a lot better of an ability than it used to be. More recently than not, they gave it the ability to siphon that attack speed. So now when I hit the 2 on an enemy god, you're going to see all of this extra attack speed that I am getting. And that is the most recently added part about this ability. It's an attack speed buff / debuff of 30%, and it only works if you hit a god. So if I use my 2 on this wave, I'm still going to get the sustain, and it's still going to do the damage, but I do not get that temporary attack speed buff. You do have to go ahead and hit a god in order to get the effects of that ability. So I'm going to follow up with the root right after this Khepri. Anher has jumped in. I'm actually going to switch my main target priority onto the Khepri, and then I'm going to use my backflip right there to finish up those kills. Backflip kills are both very efficient because they help you get out of danger, and they're also super stylish. 10 out of 10 do recommend. Now that I've gotten all of my abilities, I am going to max out my ultimate whenever I can get it. Going to increase the damage. Then we're going to max out our 1. Going to increase the root duration up to 2 seconds as well as the damage. Then we max out our 2/3. Finally, maxing out our jump, which is going to give us increased slow on the jump. That is the duration. So it's going to go from about 2 seconds to about 4 seconds. And that's why we just level it up last. Our 2, when we rank it up, is actually going to increase the amount of heal that we get, which is very nice. Also, kind of helps us avoid having to get too much lifesteal on Neith, because we've got that built-in sustain on the 2. So you combine a little bit of sustain from Death Toll, you combine a little bit of sustain from that, all of a sudden you've got some pretty nice sustain as soon as you get that level 3 and can actually grab that ability.
Enemy missing middle.
So for our standard combination on Neith, we basically have 2 options. One is just using our root to start off the fight, landing a couple of autos on the target, and then as they try to run away, hit them with the 2. So auto attack them, they're gonna start to run away, then I hit them with the 2 to get that damage off. So that's just kind of your standard little combo. You're gonna keep your 3 up mostly to peel for yourself. And this way you can have your ulti up for using it across the map, like on that Hercules, who I'm going to launch that ultimate over to. Looks like Arachne's going to try to body block that for him, but we are still going to get the kill onto that Hercules.
Attack!
So that worked out well for us.
Your right tower.
The other combination that you can do is when you're using the ulti on the actual target that you are going to fight. So you can have that ulti channeled. This is gonna work best if you're not directly. But I feel like we're getting attacked right now. I'm gonna back up just a little bit. They've got a lot of pressure over here. I don't know where the Tiamat is. They were feeling pretty confident, but now that I see the Tiamat on the map, I feel better just to walk back in kind of towards them. Now we need to be a little bit careful here because I need to back up and I need to go get my Transcendence in just a moment. I need about 150 gold and our purple is spawning, so we're gonna come back here to do this. Gonna try not to use any more potions, so that way I can have them up when I come back to the laning phase. So when you're trying to use the Neith ultimate to be aggressive on the target that you want to fight, like in lane, if I wanted to use it on Anher, typically I would want to be channeling it from a spot that he is not looking at, so I don't give away what I'm doing, because if he sees me just like channeling my ulti, he can just like throw out an impale, knock me into the wall, right? And then he just interrupts my ultimate from ever going off. You are not CC immune while you are channeling that Neith ultimate. So you are a bit of a sitting duck while you're right here. Now you can cancel out of that Neith ult early by either right clicking and literally canceling out the ability and not firing it at all, or you can fire it early just by left clicking it again. But in order to get the full damage, you have to let the entire ring charge around. As soon as the entire ring is charged, that is how you will get that maximum damage. So if I wanted to use it on the Anher, I would want to start off in the side like the jungle, hit him with it, that's going to stun him, and then after I walk in, he'll be stunned, so I can hit him with a free root. Now he's rooted again, stuck in my auto attacks, and then I can follow up with my auto attacks and my 2 like normal, keeping my 3 up for defense. Now this Anher is actually going for the Scorpion. So Anher can kind of cheese the Scorpion. He can body block the Scorpion with his pillar. I got my ulti charged right now. I'm just gonna use it right on Geb. Like if he wants to walk up to this, I don't actually mind at all. Just going for this damage on him. They're gonna have to run away, and I'm gonna force them both to back, which is fine. You can cheese the Elder Scorpion really hard with Anher because you can actually fully body block. You can fully body block the Scorpion with your pillar, preventing you from taking any damage, and then just kill it. It is very, very cheeky. Geb doesn't have his ulti up, doesn't have a shield up, so we're going to be able to grab that kill onto him. And now I'm going right back to farming. I need to go make sure I grab this purple buff, though, before I head back over to the wave. For Neith on our matchups, in the actual laning phase, you're going to want to be careful about gods that have CC immunity. Luckily for you, the Neith backflip is like 1,000 times better than it used to be back in my day. Neith's backflip used to be so slow. Nowadays, it's a lot faster, so it's actually a viable getaway skill. So like, if Anher tries to jump in on me, I can actually use my backflip like we did earlier to avoid getting hit by it, which is nice. That's not really something you used to be able to do back in the day because it was so slow. But I do have to be careful against guys that have got these CC immune ultis, particularly the very aggressive hunters. That's going to be mostly Anher and Danza. Anher and Danza tend to be problematic for Neith, because if I ever backflip, I need to be very careful now, because he can just jump right on top of me, smash me with that impale, and then I'm just sitting against the wall for that entire ultimate. So I do need to be careful against this Anher. I opted to choose my Transcendence before boots. I wanted to get it stacking as soon as possible. I didn't feel super threatened over right now in the duo lane. From the Arachne, she's only rotated over one time, and we actually kind of ended up getting a pretty decent trade out of it, pretty even. So I didn't feel the need to go boots first. If you ever start a stacking item, whether it be Transcendence or Devo Gloves, you can always finish your boots first if you feel like you need them. So I'm going to be grabbing myself a Ninja Tabi as well as a couple of wards. It's just going to come down to, if you're feeling like you're getting ganked a lot, if you're feeling like you're getting a lot of pressure on you, you're probably going to need the boots in order to run away from those situations. If you're not getting ganked a lot, if you're not dying a lot, in this case I haven't died at all yet, you can usually go with that stacking item first, because nothing's really happening. So you can just chill out and get those stacks going sooner than later. Another classic counter to Neith that you need to be careful of is going to be the Wheelix. So characters that make walls are not problematic for you, because you can leap over walls. On the old Neithy Neith, your 3 is in fact a leap. A lot of people kind of forget that it is technically a leap. So while it's not quite as cool against, you know, something like this, right? Like if I use it right here, I'm just gonna kind of push myself back against the wall, but it will get you over player-made walls. So the map walls, not quite so much. Player-made walls, yes. So you do need to watch out for the Wheelix though, because it is not difficult to pull Neith out of the air with the Wheelix. It is pretty dang easy. Not quite as easy as it used to be. Because it's a little bit faster now, but I mean, it's still kind of like pulling a Hui out of the air, where you're basically just kind of sitting there and it's like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen. So right there, Anher tries to go in on me really hard, but I backflip out. I hit him with the 1 and the weave. So you saw how my 1 just nuked about half of Anher's health. That's because I hit him with the 1 and the weave behind it. So when you have that weave positioning, you can hit the actual root line and the weave explosion, and it will do both damages. Now that I've gotten level 12, I do need to back myself up a little bit here. I gotta be careful. I kind of want hashtag one more wave, but I'm gonna play this safe. I'm gonna go ahead and back it up, and I'm gonna start working on a Soul Eater. I'm also going to get myself this game 32 to 34k. We're down about 2k. I'm gonna get myself an Aegis to play it safe. Blink can be a very fun relic on Neith. If you want to go the more aggressive route, there's an extremely fun combination with her ultimate, where you ulti, and before your ultimate hits the target, you blink right next to them. So the second they get hit by your ulti, you blink next to them, and then you root them and follow up with the full combo, and it does a crazy amount of damage. This game, team's a little bit behind. They're gonna have some pretty big follow-up damage, so I want to make sure that I've got the more defensive Aegis this game.
Enemy missing middle.
So I'm going into the Soul Eater third. This is going to be my a life steal item. It's going to give me a little bit of percent pen, which is nice. I hear the Geb coming right towards me, so I'm going to go ahead, backflip kind of myself out of this one. Gonna pop my beads, little health pot, Try to flick around and hit him with the 2 while I'm running away. Now, if I am them, I would keep diving me right here. And it looks like they do want to try and do that. They screw up on this, so I'm going to turn around because I see that my team is coming this way. Geb hits me with the combos. I'm going to try to hit him with the root. Not quite going to be so lucky. Luckily, the Kepri is there to body block. This time I hit the 2. Now I get that attack speed buff. And we're going to be able to go to town. Neith can get away with not having as much attack speed as other characters because she does have that 30% stim, which is also a debuff, which means if you actually hit it on the enemy hunter, that is a 60% swing for about 4 seconds. Now, we are going to be getting attack speed in this build because we're going to be grabbing an Obow after our Soul Leader, but we are embracing a little bit more of that power and cooldown first. So I'm just going to start channeling my ultimate right here. If Anher walks up at all for this next wave, he's going to get wrecked by this. If he doesn't move up at all, I'm going to look towards my right-hand side. I see the Arachne. She was quite low. Unfortunately, I did lose vision on her. I'm going to find the Tiamat, though, who is also at half HP. I see that my Agni is going in, and so I'm going to launch over that ultimate to help out with the Tiamat. One thing about Neith, as with all global ulti characters, you really need to be paying attention to the map. Map awareness is extremely important. You always have to keep in mind the fact that you can be helping out your team. So if you're playing somebody like a Shivalanke, a Neith, and Athena, you need to always have your eye on the minimap to see if there's players going around. Now, this does not mean I am a Neith and I am going to try to last hit the entire game and take away kills. This means I am Neith. I can help set up my team. They're calling for an attack. I'm going to trust my team. I'm going to send over my ulti to help set up a play. There's nothing wrong with getting the last hit, but you should not be trying to Nuwa all up in here and get them last hits. I've got my Aegis up. If he has his Anher ulti up, I don't think it's really going to matter. I think I'm probably dead in this one. Not going to be able to get away from the Anher ulti and the Geb ulti. So we're just going to go down right there. And I got my Soul Leader finished up, and now I'm going to start working on that Obow. Obow scales really well when you go a very high power build like this. So you've got a bunch of power from Transcendence. We're going to have a bunch of power from Soul Leader. Obow gets that damage proc with 60% of your basic attack power. So going into a big power build is going to scale you so well with that Obow.
Ward here.
Gonna have my ulti back up when I spawn so I can keep an eye out around the map. Got a sentry ward. I would grab myself another regular ward right here, but I can actually grab that tier 2 into the charged bow, which is gonna help me quite a bit because I can use my auto attack now for clear and try to keep up my abilities for the PvP. I need to go throw down the sentry ward over near that gold fury at this point. Got a black backflip myself against this wall to set up this weave, so that way I can use the weave against the Scorpion. Give me some extra damage. And I need to go try to get out this sentry ward before I clear this next wave. They've just done the Pyromancer. It would also be pretty nice if I could get these set of oracles for my team, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be so lucky. Best I can do is just stop them from getting both of them. Now, Geb is rolling out towards my purple buff, so I need to be careful. They definitely want to fight me right here. That's great damage out from the Agni. Arachne is coming around this left-hand side. Great pluck from the Kepri right there. I'm going to charge out my ultimate. Don't need it currently right now, so I'm actually going to stop using it. Going to throw down my 2 towards this Hercules and the Geb. Try to get that bonus attack speed going. They've gone right up onto a weave, so I'm going to use a nice triple weave right there. And I might not even have to use my ultimate at all in this fight because of the fact that they walked right onto a triple weave. Remember, when you get those kills on a target, it sets up a weave. And so right there, they just set up everybody right on top of it. I throw down my 1, hit a couple of people with the 1, then I hit everybody with the weave, does the giant explosion, and we turn that fight right on around. I know the purple's gonna be up, but I want to make sure I grab the wave first before the purple so I don't miss out on any XP. Speaking of XP, get out of here, Spideys. Now I can back it up, finish my full Obow, and grab myself another sentry ward. So in these team fights, anybody that is in front of me is gonna be my target. Preferably not the Hercules, because he's just gonna be very hard to kill. I don't have any anti-heal right now, so he's gonna be healing up a lot. The Geb, I don't even mind targeting. I have not gone a crit build this game. Crit wouldn't make sense against Geb. They've also got a fairly tanky team. The Tiamat gets very mitigation heavy in her ground stance. And then they've got a Hercules as well, so they've got a very tanky team. So I'm opting to go more of a power pen build that is going to be able to shred them a little bit easier. It does mean that I'm going to have to be a little bit careful against the Anners. So I'm going to throw down my ultimate against this Arachne. Hopefully it stuns her long enough for them to grab the kill. It is going to be able to, and I'm going to move myself over towards the Fire Giant. So right there, I use my ultimate. I perfectly set up the team, and we grab ourselves a fairly easy kill. Now, if we had the Erlang over here, we could actually probably have done the Fire Giant, but we're not gonna have him here in time. Gonna follow up with a little Rudy Root there from the Athena. Now this Hercules does have wing blades, so he is running pretty dang fast. He also has a lot of CDR. Geb's gonna go for the ulti. You can see him getting set up for it right there. So I'm gonna backflip out, and we're gonna be able to take down this tower. That's just fine. Now we don't have eyes on their Anher or their Tiamat right now, so we do need to be a little bit careful. Neith has one of the best, if not the best, objective secures for hunters. Doesn't mean it's better than the mages, but if you lay down that weave and then you make sure to one through, you're gonna get a solid almost 1,000 damage burst. Now I gotta be very careful. If I was that Hercules, I would run straight at your boy. It looks like he is going to do that because he had already seen me backflip. Now I'm gonna try to stick around this fight. Gonna go for that big burst combo once again. Arachne has come into the back line, and I'm not gonna be able to stop him from blinking on me and killing me. And hopefully we get to keep some members of our team with that Fire Giant. Doesn't really look like we will, but we were down quite a few thousand gold, and we ended up getting ourselves the Fire Giant, so they can't have it, and we are pretty even in the gold department now, even if we won't get to utilize that Fire Giant. Sometimes getting the Fire Giant is more about them not having it, especially when they get themselves a bit of a lead early. Bought us some time. As far as our late game comps go, honestly, theirs is probably better just because they have a Tiamat and she's the best god in the game. But outside of the Tiamat, we're in a pretty even spot. The Neith and her, neither are the best late game hunters in the game. Both are a little bit more early mid game focused. Geb, Khepri, both extremely good late game team fight supports. The Erlang and the Arachne, both very auto attack based, equally countered by Shell. And then you've got the Athena solo versus the Hercules, both going to provide a lot of CC for the team. I would give the slight edge to Athena there. So if it probably wasn't for the Tiamat, we would have a slight edge in that late game team fight, but they do have the Tia, so we've always got to be aware of that. Now, I'm trying to save up gold to finish up my Death Toll. Brings that into a Death Embrace. That's going to be a big part of my lifesteal. So I want to farm out the level 20, and I want to make sure that I have enough gold, so the second that I get 20, I can rank up that starter item. If I do end up backing before I can afford it, I'll grab a little bit of a different item because you don't want to be sitting on like 2,500 gold when you back. I just need the 1,500 in order to get it ranked up. I do need to get back grouped up with my team though. For our last item in this game, I'm going to be taking myself into more penetration. They are a very tanky team. As you can see through my auto attacks on the Herc, even though I'm going this kind of power pen build, he is not even taking that much damage. So I'm probably going to get myself into something like a Titan's Bane, which is going to give me a lot of ability-based penetration as well as the auto attack-based pen. So you kind of get to embrace all of the goodness with that Transcendence of Soul Leader, while also having all the penetration on your autos as well. I'm gonna start channeling my ultimate. I'm gonna call for an attack left lane. I need to be watching on the minimap. I do see that there is a Hercules still near me. I throw down the ulti onto the anther. It hits him. We've got 3 people over there to chase up, and they should be able to finish off that anther. Gonna grab myself the Death Embrace and work myself into that Titan's Bane. Now, I could also get myself a Brawler's Beat Stick here to help with the healing of the Hercules, or even a Toxic Blade if I felt like I needed a little bit more attack speed. Attack speed wise, once I have my 2 procs on somebody, I am mostly gonna be nearing that attack speed cap, so I don't feel like the Toxic Blade is the most efficient way to go about that. I would much prefer the Brawlers if I was gonna go the anti-heal route at this stage of the game. Good Arachne kill right there. There is a Tiamat here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and choose him as my target. Luckily, with all of the penetration in my build, even Tiamat is gonna be taking damage from me because I am capping out on that percent pen. Now, I did see the Hercules over right side still, so I don't think he's gonna be able to make it in time even if you wanted to, and I'm gonna use a couple of my weaves for a heal. Gab looks like he doesn't want to give up this, so I'm going to throw down a weave for myself, and then I'm going to try to use the 1 to secure the Gold Fury, so that way he can get it. If Athena taunts him out of that rollout, this is also going to be a dead Gab. Pretty good timing on that dead Gab as well. We should be able to shove a mid lane, grab a tier 1, maybe even a tier 2, and then immediately rotate over and try to burn down that Fire Giant. This build is also going to have disgusting damage against towers because of all the percent pen in my build right now. As soon as I get that Titan's Bane online, you're gonna be like, woo-wee! You're gonna be like, woo-wee, baby! Where's all that damage coming from? Where all that damage coming from? These towers feel like they ain't got no protections. Back in my day, percent pens used to do damage to towers, and then it didn't again, and then they do again. Gonna set up my weave for this Fire Giant. Now, they do have everybody up, but they do not have vision. So as long as we get this started right away, I'm gonna start channeling my ulti, turn immediately back onto this Arachne. Hopefully we can burst him down before anything too crazy happens. He pops his ulti, he pops his beads. Anna is actually over in the left lane. So we have to commit to this Fire Giant because he could very easily commit himself to the Phoenix. Gonna once again save my weave, try to secure the objective away from them. I'm going to be able to. And this time, I'm gonna call for the retreat. Last time we stuck around for a team fight, it didn't go so well. I used my 2 to heal off of these creeps. Gonna try to give my team a root over there just to try to buy them some time. And we're gonna just continue to try backing this one up. Now, they're not going to let this go, as well they probably shouldn't. They certainly don't have to. Now, we got a little bit lucky because the anther, oh my goodness, had stopped going for our Phoenix over in left lane, but unfortunately, they are just chasing us all the way down, and we cannot do any damage to them. The only saving grace that we have right now is that we still have our tier 2 tower up over in the solo lane, so that's because they have to double back and go get it. And then we've got our Agni up in 20 seconds with our Athena. The Agni should probably be able to spawn in time, but unfortunately, we did not have a whole lot of damage in that team fight. On our backup, that's a great Athena taunt. That's going to buy us a little bit of time right here. If he can actually get out of this one, that is going to buy just enough time for the Agni to spawn. We've still got a tier 2 tower up, and they should not be able to end this game entirely for free right now. Not entirely for free. So right there in that last team fight, we had a great Fire Giant, right? We have a great Fire Giant, we take the fight, and then we start to run away. All we had to do was run away swifter as a team. What kept happening is people kept going back to try to peel for each other. We should have just sent one person back like the Kepri or the Athena, have them peel off for everybody else, and then we could have lived with 4 of us right there. That was one of the classic situations of everybody trying to peel for everybody else and trying to do almost too much teamwork, when in fact what you should have been doing is you should have been letting the person die and playing selfishly and getting away for yourself. Sometimes you just gotta let somebody die so the rest of the team can live, guys. And that is our Neith ADC guy. Thank you for supporting the Twitchiest community. If you'd like to see more videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel and always hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Thank you for all your support and have a twitching day, y'all.